everyone. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. I'm Marisa B, and today I have with me a holistic, eclectic therapist and healer, trained social worker, clinical hypnotherapist, spiritual counselor, and teacher. Frances Woolf has been working in this field for most of her adult life. Many moons ago, Frances channeled her spirit being, I hope I have that correct, Kyra Magenta, who provided her with information that would later become the book, The Diamond Within, a spiritual self-development book. Hello, Frances. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me.
I wanted to ask you first, how did you start in this healing journey? Because it has been a long journey. You have been in the healing profession for many years. How did this all start?
Well, in fact, it started because I had a major car accident. So I'm trying to think way back. We're talking 1984. I had a major car accident that was life-threatening and left me with a broken spine and a lot of physical pain. And the pain never seemed to go away. And someone happened to say to me, well, why don't you explore spiritual healing? And I thought, well, this is a bit airy-fairy for me, but okay, we'll explore it. And I went to see a lovely lady, and she got me to lie on a couch, and then she placed her hands above my head. And almost as if by magic, my third eye opened. I didn't know it was my third eye, but I'll explain this to you. My third eye opened, and all these colors and these visions just started happening. And it was like I was sitting in a cinema looking at a film that was just rolling really rapidly at the same time as feeling all this vibration, and the pain just lifted off. And so from that, I won't go into it intently, but so from that, I then started training as a healer under the NFSH, National Federation of Spiritual Healers. Then I trained under the SNU, the Spiritual National Union, qualified under both of those. And then quite a few years on from that, so I was working as a healer. Then I decided I wanted to learn more, and I started to find out about Reiki. So I then did my Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 with different masters, because, and some of your friends, colleagues, watchers will understand this, I didn't find a teacher that I resonated with. So I was perpetually searching. And so although I did my Reiki 1 and Reiki 2, and I had, again, huge awarenesses, downloads, changes, I didn't stick with the teachers. And then somebody that I'd grown up with for a very long time, I mean, had known the family for 20 years or so, said to me one day, "Oh, it's you I've been looking for." And I thought, what on earth are you talking about? We're friends. What are you going on about? And she said, "I've been told by spirit that I'm supposed to train you up as a medium clairvoyant." And I thought, how quick can I get this woman out my house? I thought, she's lost the plot. Because in my mind, I was no different to anybody else. I didn't have a perception that I was seeing, hearing, knowing, understanding. Because when it's part of you, you don't perceive it as anything different. Okay? So, and then started my journey for being a medium clairvoyant, doing platforms, doing sacred services, doing divine services at the same time as doing healing. Then I was doing private work, healing work. Then I was giving private readings. And then I did my master Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
So I then did that, and I decided to open my own clinic at home. So I built a 12 by 12 summer house, which I kitted out. It was insulated, had electrics, it was covered with crystals and hanging trinkets and angel wings and feathers and you name it. I'm very bohemian. So it was decorated with lots of beautiful things that would entice the soul.
And this was in Wales. This was in Wales.
No, none of
Oh,
this was in Wales.
okay.
This was all in London or near London, because
Oh, nice.
I've only been in Wales 10 years now, which
Okay.
I'm going to explain to you. So and then it was when I was in my house in Pinner,
Mm-hmm.
and I had this beautiful 12 by 12 sanctuary that I started to work in and teach in. Spirit kept nagging me to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I happened to be going out also with a medium. And he kept saying to me, why aren't you listening to Spirit? Spirit are telling me as well that you should be writing this book. And I said, nobody wants to hear anything I've got to say. I'm nothing special. I'm nobody. I can't imagine for 1 minute that someone's going to want to read what I'm going to say. And what then happened was, as I was working as a medium, taking sacred and divine services, I started to see a pattern in the philosophy and the lessons that I was channeling during the services. And I started to realize that different times, groups of people were all experiencing maybe difficulty in relationships or trauma due to past life experiences where they've been abused or raped or put in a vulnerable situation, or but there were a lot of people maybe that had relatives that had passed. So I started to see patterns, and eventually I thought, okay, I'll start to write the book. And I started to do it pen and paper. But Spirit then nagged my partner at the time. No, she needs a computer. Get her a computer. And one day he just turned up with the computer. Here's your computer. This is what you have to write your book on. And I thought, okay. And then from that day, we're talking way, way back, 1994. I sat down every day at about 11 o'clock. I meditated, and then almost as if by magic, the words just came telepathically into my mind, and I was just typing as quick as I could to get the information out. And every day I sat at the same time, and the words just flowed. The hardest
And this is the
part,
Kyra. It's Kyra or Kyra Magenta is
Kyra,
really
it's Kyra
spirit.
Magenta.
Kyra Magenta.
Kyra Magenta is my spirit name.
Right.
Is my spirit name. But the telepathic information was coming from the light council, the higher realms, through my spirit being Kyra Magenta. So yeah, that was it.
And
it must
I'd
have
like to say that it is a self-development book, but it's so much more. There's so much in there.
Absolutely.
Meditation, exercises. I mean, it's really a fabulous book.
Thank you. Yes. I deliberately wrote it, first of all, in small chapters. I've got the book here.
Yes. Mine is back ordered. I'm waiting patiently because of course it's being shipped far away, but yes.
So at the beginning of the book, there are reviews from people that have read the book. So that again helps people understand what they've seen. And then there's a table of contents. And then I've explained how the book came into fruition. So I've gone through the story of how it all came about and the things that I used to do.
And you said this was 1990, 93 or
1994. 1994. Yeah, then I've also done a chapter on advice how to read the book. to help people how to get the best out of it. And then the chapters they're not particularly long chapters, probably maybe up to a maximum of 10 pages. They also have, the way I've written it is I've highlighted words and statements and things to give people more of a focus so that they know what I'm talking about. And also there are diagrams. Everything in the book I've designed. So there are diagrams, there are exercises, there are charts, there are meditations. I talk about the ego, the shadow sides, the light side, and then I categorize it for everybody so they've got a good understanding of what I'm talking about. And then I also have chapters on meditation. I explain some of the divine laws, the laws on truth, the laws on time, the laws on the contract that we make before we enter into a physical body. I take you through everything, and the chapters are short enough, but I then also summarize each chapter at the end so that it supports the reader to focus exactly on what it is I've been talking about, and just to give them a slight refresher. So if they want to go back over and read the book again, but they don't want to read the whole chapter, they can just read the summary.
Right, the summary again. And this is all to find the diamond within all of us, right? Because as you say, I mean, working in social services, being an actual clinical hypnotherapist, you know that many people, I believe I've listened to a few of your talks, many people forget that when they enter into this existence.
Absolutely. The minute we touch down on the earth plane, we totally forget who we are. It's like we have amnesia. And the physical body is just the costume we wear. But underneath, we are pure, we are bright, we are complete, we are whole, we lack nothing. Everything that we need for our life journey, and everyone has an individual life journey, will be within that individual right now. It's just the pain, the difficulties, the people that we've met, the trauma, the things that people have told us about ourselves. Oh, you're not good enough. You're not capable enough. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're weak. You're not very clever. So we take on those little voices that become part of our ego. And therefore we forget that we're actually pure and bright. And the diamond itself is almost a metaphysical item, jewel, that sits within the center of the chest. And it contains everything that we'll ever need. And as people, I don't know whether people are aware, but we are just pure energy. Everything in the universe is pure energy, whether it's ourselves, whether it's an animal, whether it's a tree, whether it's a flower, a bird, a plant, a rock, a chair. Everything contains energy, and it's only what the energy has to do will then influence the form it takes on. A tree doesn't have to go to school. A tree doesn't have to change its clothes. So therefore, it's going to look like a tree, if that makes sense. A bird needs to fly. A bird needs to move and flow easily. So a bird has wings. Humans don't need to fly. We don't need to move from one distance to another. Therefore, we don't have wings. But we can communicate. We have a vessel. We have hands, because those are the things that we need to use on our journey. So dependent on what it is that our higher selves, our consciousness has agreed to do on the earth plane, will influence the form and the lessons that we go through.
And that's exactly what happens to us. And I love how you use the example that, like a diamond that's buried and has to be dug out because it's covered with things. And that's how a lot of us.
Absolutely. That absolutely, Maria.
Yes.
A lot of us are, we have no notion of how bright we are, how powerful we are. Maria Williams wrote that powerful speech for Nelson Mandela about, you know, it's not that man is worried about how weak he is, but how bright he is, how powerful he is. And the thing is that we have no notion of that because it's been covered over by all the pain, all the trauma, all the difficulties we've had. And just like a coal miner has to go down into the dark, underground, deep, 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 chip away at the rock to try and find the coal, the diamonds. That's exactly metaphorically what we have to do with ourselves. We have to go into the darkness, into the shadows of ourselves. We have to look at our pain. We have to ask ourselves, well, why is it that I feel this pain? What is it that what is it that someone said that I believed? What evidence is there for me to truly believe what they've said to me? And if there's no evidence because it's just their emotions, just a reflection of their own hurt and their own pain, then you can say to yourself, it's not true. The only thing in life that is true is love. Love is real. Unconditional love is real. Anything else, fear, anger, hurt, pain, is all merely an illusion and is not part of love. It's part of the shadow.
Yes, exactly. And I know that as the planet is evolving, we're all attempting to help one another with that. That's why I thought it was so important, because your book speaks to really generations. It's part workbook, it's meditation, it's affirmations that are there. It's a wonderful book to use to help you see your own diamond, because many people don't realize that about themselves.
Absolutely. In fact, it's called an ascension book. And as you've quite rightly said, we're in a period now of ascending. The old earth is dying. The new earth, the foundations have already been laid down. So the crystalline core of the new earth has already been laid down. And as the light, as the sun, as the planets project their light and the high vibration down onto the earth plane, so many light workers, light seers, are also having their vibration altered. And many people can feel this. Maybe they're starting to feel unsettled or a little bit lost or a little bit confused, or even maybe their third eye might be starting to open, but they don't know what's happening to them or why this is happening to them, because they're not part of our light movement. So the book is very much about helping people that are new to the movement, as well as empowering those that are light workers that would like really to increase their vibration and move themselves and their own energies forward. Because the new planet at the end of the day is merely based on unconditional love, universality, everybody supporting each other, everybody collectively being together and working as a universal oneness, as a universal energy, not like the old 3D world, which is just based on materialism, money, power, ego, what I can take from you, what I can make you give me. The new earth is nothing to do with any of the old currency.
And it's funny that you say that, because I recently heard something that I found very important. I personally was seeing that there were so many horrible things happening. They appeared to be happening more frequently, on a larger scale. And I heard someone say that it's so important now for all the light workers, everyone that's moving forward with the planet on its next level, that we have to recognize that these things are coming because that's happening. The old guard is falling away and they're attempting to hold on. And so these horrible, horrible things are almost an explosion of horror happening quite quickly.
Yes. Absolutely, 100%. What's happening is that as the light and the crystalline core has been formed, I suppose metaphorically, you can say the earth's being cracked open. The light is making all the dark shadows, all the horrible energies rise to the surface. And so we're seeing murders, we're seeing wars, we're seeing hatred, we're seeing knife crime, we're seeing sexual abuse, we're seeing domination, all these type of things that were hidden before, that either we weren't necessarily aware of or weren't in the public domain, but we know they were going on underground, hidden. And what's happening now is that because of the new energy, it's bringing everything up to the surface in the same way that when we want to work on ourselves, when we want to heal ourselves, we must look at our shadows. And in the same way, the earth is forcing people to look at their shadows so that this darkness can then be labeled, picked out, and healed. And what's important for the light workers is not to focus on the darkness, not to focus on the wars and the awful things that are happening, because the darkness will use weaker people, will subject certain people to their will and to their way. The light workers have actually got to merely focus on love and light and unconditional support, so they keep raising their vibration and they're not subjected to the darkness that's coming up to be healed. And the other thing about light workers that are working with the vibration, and I'm sure you've experienced it, just by our presence, just by standing in a room or just by appearing somewhere, we can make people very, very angry. It's known as triggering them, because our light is highlighting their darkness and their shadows, and because they're not awake, they cannot recognize that it belongs to them. So their ego says it must be coming from somebody else, i.e. you, me, over there. And therefore they blame us or they target us. I mean, 2 years ago, I was physically attacked in my own front garden because about 5 or 6 people had all got triggered.
I heard you speak about that.
Just about me standing in the garden.
Neighbors, yes, terrible. I heard you speak about that, what had happened. And it's true that it's shining their shadow towards us, attempting to cover up, us with the shadow. Really, some of them are completely unaware, and some may have a glimpse and are unprepared to work on it.
Absolutely.
That happens too. It's a terrible thing. But now let me ask you, how did you wind up in Wales? Because you're currently in Wales, but you do have bigger plans, because I do want to get to the bigger plans because I find that wonderful. First of all, explain a little bit about how you came to be in Wales, because you're there, you said 10 years now.
That's right. And I wasn't expecting to be here this long. So I also rescue animals.
Yes.
So in 94, when I started writing the book, I also had left social work. I'd become pretty unwell. I'd had a major breakdown. And I was severely bedridden, and I was a single mum. I had an 18-month-old daughter. She's now nearly 34. She'll be 34 in about 3 days' time. I know I don't look old enough, but anyway. So I was living in Bedford at the time, and I rescue animals, and I thought I really need a place. I was looking for a small holding, to be honest with you. I really needed a place that had some land, a small property that I could then bring more animals onto and rescue more animals. And so I didn't quite find a small holding at the time, but what I did was I found a bungalow with 1/4 of an acre of land that was big enough for me to keep my dogs on. I also have skunks, albino skunks.
Oh,
I
oh,
also
wow.
have, yeah, I also have two cats. I did have three. I lost my old cat a couple of years ago. I now have 8 dogs. I did
Oh,
have a
wow.
beautiful big wolf at the time. Sadly, he died 2 years ago, but I've now
Oh,
got a female wolf. And she's special needs. She's got cerebral palsy. And I've got 2 horses.
yes.
So I that's how I ended up in Wales. So um, the land was big enough for me to
Mhm.
keep all my animals on, not the horses. The horses were at a nearby farm.
Yes.
Um, but I'm now looking to get a place
Yes.
whereby I can bring my dogs and my horses and all my animals onto the land and open a sanctuary, which we can
Yes.
talk about. Which
Yes,
we
because
can
you
talk
said
about.
yes. Yes, I'd like to hear about it because I know that you mentioned it's going to be actually a place that people can come also. So I'd like to hear a little bit
Absolutely.
about that. I know you've been looking, actually actively looking and
Yes, I am.
sorting
I
through
am.
things.
Yes, and the problem is, for some reason, I haven't sold yet, and I don't know why.
Really? Mm.
Spirit said to me 2 years ago, "Okay, you've done the work we want you to do. You now have permission to go."
Mhm.
And I thought, good, because I've had enough of Wales now. I
Mhm.
mean, it's very beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Wales itself is very
Yes.
beautiful, but unfortunately, some of the people are a little bit backward.
Oh.
When you live in these rural places, they really are um, a little bit backward in
Mhm.
in their life philosophies and the
Mhm.
way they look at things. They're quite sexist, quite racist,
Mhm.
um, quite misogynistic, and I've had enough of that now.
Mhm.
So I'm looking to set up a sanctuary. So the idea is that it's going to be an eco-friendly sanctuary,
Mhm.
so self-sufficient. Um, Initially, I'm hoping to live in a what's called a tiny mobile home.
Yes.
It looks like a home, but it's a home on wheels.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not a caravan, because I
Right.
can't do caravans because they
Right.
look like little coffins,
Mm.
I'm afraid. So
I
it's
know.
very
Yeah,
much,
there's a big tiny house movement. Yeah, as in fact, my daughter
yes,
wants to build her own and be completely off
yes,
grid. So we've seen quite a number of
ditto.
tiny home styles. Yes. And it is a
They're
home. It is a home.
They are really
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
They have proper bedrooms,
Yes.
proper bathrooms, proper kitchens. And that's big enough for me because, as I said, I'm looking to buy land. And so
Yes.
the dogs will then have the freedom
Mhm.
of the land, the horses will be on the land. And the land is important because I'm then hoping to put hempcrete domes on the land. I'm
Oh, how
co-working
lovely.
with a I'm co-working with a friend of mine, Wendy Jean, and she lives in America at the moment, and she's looking into hempcrete buildings. And we're both talking about aromatherapy and herbalism and
Mhm.
medicinal mushrooms. And so the idea is that we'll also grow medicinal
Mhm.
herbs and mushrooms on the land and grow our own food. And people, it's very much for light workers. So people that are light workers can come and have a retreat there.
Yeah.
And also, it's going to be a place where people can teach from there
Mhm.
and run workshops from there. So I'm going to have a centre that's going to where people can
Mhm.
teach
And you'll
from.
go back to
Well,
England. You're looking in England for this
yes, I am.
property
I'm
in
at the
England.
moment. I'm looking Bristol, Somerset,
Mhm.
Glastonbury, because
Mm. Oh,
Glastonbury
yes, absolutely.
is energetically
Yes.
supposed to be the heart chakra of
Yes.
the earth plane. So, but it's, unfortunately, land is so difficult to come by at the moment. And
Yes.
because of the economic climate,
Mhm.
everybody seems to want land at the moment.
Yes.
And it's really gone up in price. But until I can sell my house, for whatever
Mhm.
reason it's not gone, unfortunately I can't buy my
Mhm.
land yet. So we're waiting for
Right.
the house to go so that I can actually then literally buy my land, buy my tiny mobile home, and start the project.
Yes.
And also it's going to be free, which sounds bizarre, but so people can come for free, and
Right.
then it's up to them if they want to gift some money, if
Right.
they want to
Donate.
give some,
Yes.
donate, if they want to
Yes.
gift their time to help plant the
Yes.
land, run workshops to bring some energy and knowledge into the center, but it'll be very much available for everybody. Nobody will be precluded because they don't have the funds.
Right.
It's very important that it's open to everybody.
And this is a massive undertaking. So I know, and you've
Yes,
been
it
working
is.
on this for a while.
I've been working on it
Yes.
for a very, very, very
Yes.
long time.
Right.
And that's why when Spirit said, okay, you can now go for the land, you know, I mean, we're talking, I mean, I've been wanting to do this for about 20 years. And
Yes.
in fact, when I was at college, trying to think, I went to Bath College. I think I was there 92, 93. We had to do a project for our business award. And I won the project for the business award,
Oh, how
which is
lovely.
about my
This
sanctuaries.
this idea, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it'll be manifested because
Well,
you've
I'm
manifested
praying.
everything else. Yes. And I know because you have
Bless
the
you.
horses currently still, the horses are at another location.
They are, which is very difficult for me. They've been in Somerset now. They're with a very
Yes.
special lady who's also spiritual, and we talk regularly. And I also send my horses healing and telepathic messages every day, so they know
Oh.
I'm thinking about them. And in fact, when I phone the lady, she puts me on loudspeaker and I speak to my
Oh,
horses,
how
and
lovely.
they're looking for me. They don't know where
Oh.
my voice is coming from, which is so sweet. But yes, they've been with her a year now, which is a very long time.
Yes. Yes. I'm surprised that your home hasn't sold in Wales because I see a lot
Well,
of
I'm
programs that
surprised.
people are looking. They're looking to move to Wales, to move out of England and move into
Abs-
Wales for more land.
Absolutely. But for some reason, I mean, I've had people say to me, I'd like to buy your house and make me offers. But people have then come back and said to me they couldn't get the mortgage because
Oh,
of the financial climate being so
yes.
difficult. They couldn't get the mortgage.
That could very well be the case. That could be that that's what the issue is. Well, we'll have
Which is
to
very strange.
intend. Yeah, well, we'll have to intend that it occurs because I think that that's wonderful. I
Absolutely.
myself would love to come to visit. I think that's
Please do
a wonderful idea. Yes.
when it's up and running. And I mean, whether I have shepherd huts or whether I have just domes or whether people themselves bring their own caravans, there will be enough land for
Yes.
people to be able to do that.
Now, will the person your friend that's in the United States, will she return there? Or
No, what we're going to do, the idea is that because she and I have been working very closely together, she's going to start one of the sanctuaries, which will be the mother sanctuary, and I'm going to start the other mother sanctuary. And from this, we will then create 12 others. So
oh, lovely.
there'll be 13 sanctuaries in all,
Oh,
all around the globe.
oh, how lovely. And she's going to put one in the United States. Will there
Yes,
be
I
one
think
here?
Yes, I think there'll be one in the United States. At the moment, she's in Mexico. I'm not quite sure where we're going to put the first
Right.
one. That's down to her. But they're going to be dotted around the world very much. And again, if people are interested in becoming part of our
Oh, yes.
organization,
That's
then
definitely, I'd like to
then
put information for
yes,
them to
then please
contact you.
yes, then contact us, because she's setting up a trust fund at the moment in order to support our organization. And it's about, us being the mother sanctuaries to then support each and every other sanctuary to open up. And then from those sanctuaries, other sanctuaries will open
Yes.
up, and gradually it will spiral, because we want these communities everywhere.
Oh,
It's about
absolutely.
it's about the new earth, it's about the new world, it's about how we all need to support each other,
Hmm.
be there for each other, use our skills,
Yes.
use our unique traits, because that's going to be the currency of
Mhm.
tomorrow.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
Whereas today, people don't value people's skills and
No.
uniqueness and spirituality or knowledge or wisdom. That is what's going to be the currency and important in the new earth.
Well, exactly, because to help one another is actually really what is money,
Yes,
right? Money is really just obtaining things for you when you transfer it
absolutely,
over to someone, right? But you could just as easily transfer trade or goods because that's what was done
absolutely,
before. And in some areas, we know that the actual paper really is valued at nothing. It has nothing behind it.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely, because it's back to the old bartering system now.
that's
And
right.
as you said, it's only that man has given bits of paper certain amounts of value,
Mhm.
but it has no value whatsoever, and
Right.
it's part of the control. But the new earth doesn't have that control. We don't want that level of control. That's the old earth
Hmm.
that's dying out. The old earth, the old the old conforming, the
Hmm.
old indoctrination, that's all going to be gone.
Yes, exactly. Can't come too
So
soon.
certainly,
I intend
no,
every
so
day that it changes.
me too. So certainly by 2025, I think there'll be much more of a change. And I know by 2050, I mean, I won't be here then, but certainly the world will be a very different place.
Oh, absolutely. For our children, our children's children.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and especially the children that are coming in now, they're the light seers. They're
Yes.
bringing the light. They're coming in to anchor this energy for the new earth.
Hmm.
That's what they're coming in for. And what people forget is that these children already know why they're coming.
Yes.
They already have their souls open, their hearts open. And therefore, those of us that are light workers, we've got to be there to support these new souls,
Yes.
because they're going to find this old world very difficult to live in. I mean, I
Yes.
found it incredibly difficult to live in. I don't like being a human being at all, but these children are really going to find it
Hmm.
difficult. They might even be categorized as Asperger's or autistic or
Yes.
having ADHA, because they're also sensitive,
Hmm.
that the old conforming world is going to label them with some other condition.
Yes. Well, let's hope that all goes away. We hope they
Exactly.
try to hang on. They try to hang on, but
Yes,
we're intending that it goes
exactly.
away. It has to go away. It has to go away. There's no
Absolutely.
need, honestly, there's no need for scarcity. And really, there really is all the need for love because that's really all there is out there. That's really what's the most
Absolutely.
important thing.
And scarcity has only happened again because those in control are holding on to
Hmm.
food mountains, money mountains, water
Hmm.
mountains. And we know there are things like butter mountains, sugar mountains,
Hmm.
meat mountains. Whereas if governments were aware that we are all part of the same human family, we're all part of one circle, one cycle, then they should just learn to share everything we've got. And then there would be plenty for everybody. But no, we've got people that like to be in power and hold on to
Hmm.
resources, hold on to ingredients, hold on to their power.
Yes.
And by holding on to the power and the food, they make people conform, they make
Hmm.
people frightened.
Yes, and it's sad, but there are more of us than them. The reality is
There are
if we would see that and communicate that there are
now,
way more of us than them.
now there is, yes.
Yes.
Now there is
Yes.
absolutely. The other thing I just wanted to share with you, I'm just looking for it now, is that the old spiritual system
Hmm.
talks about seven chakras,
Right.
always talks about seven
Yes.
chakras. Well, if you can see this picture of the
Yes.
chakras,
There are
there's
many
more
more.
than,
Many
yes,
more. Yes, many
in
more.
fact, exactly. At the moment, I'm working according to 22 chakras. There are many, many, many chakras. We've got chakras way above the crown now.
Yes, absolutely.
Way up into the new earth. We've also got them going down.
Yes.
Going down into Mother Earth. We've also got them in our hands, in our feet, along our arms, along the meridians. So yes, it's good to have an idea about the basics, but if people are wanting to explore that, just have in the back of their minds that is just the foundation.
Right.
Not the whole of the system.
And now, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's the easiest way? Do you have a website, or are one of the social media platforms easiest?
Yes, I have.
I know the book is on Amazon, so I will be posting that in the description.
Yes, so my website, I can put this, send it to you. My website is called Franz, FRANS diamond within .uniweb, that's UENIWEB.com. So it's Franz diamond within .uniweb.com. So that's my web page. Frances Woolf at BT Internet, FRANCES WOOLF at btinternet.com. That's my email. And also on Facebook at Frances Diamond Within.
I will definitely list everything. I absolutely will list everything in the description. I also will put a list to the book, a link so people can get it. Yes.
Okay, great. I can give you my ISBN number if you want that as well. But yes, you can get the book at the moment from Amazon. It's on as a paperback.
Yes.
Which you can see, but it's also on as an ebook.
Okay, so, yes.
That's available. But what I'm also doing now, I'm pleased to say, is that I'm now formally publishing it. I've got a publishing company, and we're now going to formally publish the book. And it's also going to be available as a hardback as well.
Oh, lovely. So that's wonderful.
The cover's going to change slightly. It's still going to have the lotus flower at the front with the diamond, but it's going to have a black background. So the diamond and the lotus stand out a lot more.
Oh, wonderful. And now, will we be able to find out about the sanctuary? Will that be mentioned in either the website or maybe the social media page? How would one find out how that's going? Or if they want to assist in helping or you have the email. I'll have the email.
True. Yes, I think email, because at the moment, until I've sold my house, I'm in that waiting phase at the moment. And so is my colleague, Wendy Jean. So we're both in that waiting phase. So until I've sold the house, but I will then post it on Facebook. I will then update it on my webpage. So don't worry. Once the land is bought, if people want to come and help build it, if people want to come and dig the land, if people just want to leave the life that they have and come and spend a period of time on the sanctuary land, please contact me and come. It will be fantastic. I will have all my animals there, my 2 horses, my 8 dogs, cats, skunks, etc., and a python. And then I'm hoping also to get some more animals as well.
Oh, lovely.
So it's very much a sanctuary for both humans and animal souls. And the animals will then be used as therapy to empower people that are traumatized.
Yes.
Because animals intuitively know what they need to do to support the individual. Yes. Animals communicate, animals talk, although sometimes we can't always hear them unless you're clairvoyant, clairaudient, but animals talk. So an animal will know what an individual needs. If somebody's sad, you know, they'll alter their energy.
It's
If
true.
someone's
Yes.
angry or bitter or spiteful, the animal will show that and either not want to go near them or run away. Or if they're very loving or they need healing, the animal will go to them and give them the love, give them the healing. So the animals will be very much there as part of the healing work.
Oh, that's lovely. I can't wait to take a trip there. I mean, my family's planning a trip anyway. We've been waiting to plan a trip back to England. So I would love to come out and see all of this.
Fantastic.
We definitely have to have the collective intent that this occurs. Because this is an
Absolutely.
absolutely fabulous idea. And the fact that they will be all over the planet for people to be in contact with, to help out, to seek shelter too, because there are going to be people,
Absolutely.
I'm sure, that need it.
Yes, absolutely. And as we know, you know, when you've got a group of people all working together with the intention of unconditional love and healing, if someone comes to join the community that's unwell, that needs that respite, then miracles happen, healing happens.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And that's actually what we're here for, right? We're here to love
Yes,
one another and to help others heal.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know, there are three things that we're here to do, that our soul is here to do. The first thing is to learn to unconditionally love ourselves. The second thing is to learn to unconditionally love others without judgment. And the third thing is to share our unique gifts unconditionally with the rest of the world. That's it.
Absolutely.
There's nothing else. It's not about money. It's not about pieces of paper. It's not about education. It's not about whether I'm married, whether I'm single, whether I have a child, whether I don't have a child. Those are what makes you the individual you are. But the three soul things that we have to do: love ourselves, love others, share our unique gifts and talents.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming, Frances. It was wonderful to have you on
My
today and
pleasure.
to just get a little
Thank
glimpse
you.
of what you're doing and how you're helping all of us, helping the planet. I just can't wait till we get out there. We definitely have to collectively intend, because I am sure it's going to be a wonderful
Absolutely.
place. Hopefully we can
Absolutely.
speak
Well,
again soon. You know,
yes,
we
that
can
would be
speak again.
great.
I know you're very busy, especially with the animals. I know you're busy, but you wanted
Thank
to
you.
say?
No, I wanted to say thank you. God bless to each and every one of you.
Oh,
Don't
thank
forget,
you.
each of you are diamonds. So don't forget to shine bright
Yes,
and
so
be
true.
the
Thank you.
example that you want for others.
Thank you. Thank you so
Take
much,
care.
Frances. Take
God
care.
bless.
Bye
Bye.
now.